Howdy folks, Dan Davis here. Welcome to the 3D Sapiens Roadshow. This is going to be the recreation episode number 1. First one, inaugural episode. The actual introduction I'm going to be splitting into 3 different parts because there's just too much to cover in one. Besides, I need to do part of it here at the nest and part of it at the campground, so you can see more of the equipment in use and so on. So this is part A. See, we're already having fun. Recreation with fun. Okay, on this one we're going to have some philosophy and health applications of recreation, discussion of how activities clearing a campsite might have evolved into various sports, some quotes, and a potential theme song in the summertime by Mungo Jerry. Cover. Part B, also here, I'll be explaining all this equipment behind me. Some divided into what stays in the car versus in storage or at the nest. Potential activities, and including comparing, contrasting things such as paragliding and parasailing, if you've ever wondered what's the difference. Paragliding and skydiving, paragliding and base jumping, all that stuff. I'll be explaining it with pictures and some diagrams. And then part C, at the campsite, I'm going to show you how the equipment is stored and then how it's deployed. Various things that I will be using up there. Coming up, hopefully this weekend, I'm hoping to record a couple different rappelling episodes, as well as a BB gun thing. I'm going to set up a BB gun range, and get this, a mini golf range. Mini golf, yes. So, those will be coming up. Anyway, so starting with, to me, recreation is critical. If recreation is something you fit into your life whenever you can, you're missing the point and you're headed for an early grave. You need to have fun as much as possible, as much fun, all the time. Even if it's work, there's various ways. That's things I talk about in my Ramitz presentations. Even if it's a menial, especially if it's a menial job, if it's an easy job where you don't have to think much, it's great for, you can think about other things, which is why I like working up at the campsite and whatever, because I come up with all kinds of ideas, work on books and whatnot. But it's a kind of philosophy that really does need to be built into your attitude at all times, because humor is good for you. There's studies that show that humor is good for you, strengthens your immune system and so on. So recreation is a big part of that. For parents, if you're not playing with your kids, you're missing out on a huge opportunity. Come on, face it, you know you're a big kid inside. Everybody is. You never outgrow that. So indulge it. You got kids, play with them. Don't just sit there and watch it TV. Dad, can I? Yeah. No, go out there and play with them. I love doing that stuff. In fact, let me read you a quote. This is actually from the backstory of one of the poems coming up in this book here, my next book. Just a couple lines, just to show you how important it was. I wanted it included in the book. Indeed, any time we spend together usually means, finances and weather permitting, camping, fishing, skateboarding, rappelling, or just throwing a frisbee or kicking a soccer ball around the local park. On the relatively rare occasions we might visit a restaurant, we usually bring in a deck of Uno cards to pass the time. The reason I can make these claims with no hesitation whatsoever is because I, too, am a big kid, at least at heart. I honestly do relish these activities with them, and all the more so since they are my favorite people in the world, and I love talking with them. So the term recreation, recreate yourself like kids are recreated. And in the Bible it says, Isaiah 11:6, and a child shall lead them. And again, this should be a constant attitude, starting with things like, when you can, get silly with your clothes. Good fond memories like Amsterdam. Ties. And not just from Thailand. If you're into music, here's guitars. Here's Eeyore for your really bad days. Where am I going to put these? I hadn't thought about that. But, shirts. Fond memories of Romania 2009. I won this t-shirt off the photojournalist for the South African cricket team that was visiting Lahore, Pakistan when I lived there. We played about 10 games, and he's like, well, what do you want? I said, well, I want your shirt. So we switched shirts. So this has got fond memories. That was kind of cool. Or Thailand, another, speaking of Thai. Of course, anything in Africa is just magical. Or whatever your favorite hobby is. And even your profession. This one I've actually had on the show a couple times. I'm going to be doing a math portion while I'm rappelling as well this weekend, I hope, if the weather's good. Anyway, so, moving on. It should be a constant attitude, including with your clothes. This is something I got in Congo. Bought 6 yards of fabric and had the tailor make it up into a couple shirts and whatnot. Alright. Now, you can get real philosophical about it. If you've seen the spirituality things that I've done, you know I'm a very eclectic person. I've got a wide library that I've done a lot of research on. I don't agree 100% with anybody in particular, but I think each religion that has lasted for a while has got some kind of nugget of truth at the basis of it. Otherwise, it wouldn't have lasted. That simple. So, Buddha, I agree with most of what he says, but when he talks about life is pain and suffering, don't really agree with that one. It can be. You can make it into pain and suffering, because I see people do it all the time. They could easily get out of bad situations, but it's kind of like they want us to be stuck in a bad situation. I don't know why. Anyway, whereas Jesus says the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Now, if you read something like Reverend Matthew Fox's Jesus from a neo-pagan perspective, you'll see that there's ways of looking at what Jesus said, especially, or in the Gnostic Gospels also, the Gnostic Gospels. There's a different way of looking at Jesus. And when he talks about heaven being at hand, he doesn't mean that he's about to come back and like a lot of people are expecting. What it means is that heaven is right here. You can grab it if you want to. Or you can ignore it. It's up to you. You know, heaven's right here. Yes, there's going to be bad situations that's going to happen, but a lot of that stuff you can think your way out of, especially with the constant attitude, like with the clothing and whatever. So, it's kind of like a holograph, like life is a holograph, where if you look at it one way, it's like depressing, and if you look at it another way, it's like, woo, you know, so it's all part of your attitude. So, take that into consideration. Alright, moving on. So, and as I said, fun, laughing especially, helps the immune system. It's good for you, just from a health perspective. Can't argue with that. Especially laughter. If you see something funny, go with it. You know, laugh, man. As far as the whole nomadic lifestyle and doing a lot of this stuff outside that I'm going to be showing, being outside is good for you. Air is fresher and so on. And if you're outside in nature, there's more spiritual possibilities, which can also help your whole health and everything else. So, later on in part C up there, I'm going to show you how just clearing the campsite also, aside from all the fun you can have there, just the work itself could be potentially the basis for a lot of different sports. Pretty much every sport you can imagine. And another reason to get out there. So there's a couple quotes I want to mention here. Ovid, Roman poet, he actually got exiled to Constanța, Romania, back when it was a Roman colony. In our leisure, we reveal what kind of people we are. Can you have fun? Are you like too serious? The end of labor is to gain leisure. Aristotle. I like that one because it means you're working to have fun, not the other way around. Not fitting in fun when you're not working, because that's the wrong attitude. And if you're doing something like I am, or a musician, writer, something like that, where you can combine this, having fun all the time, with your income, that's the best of both worlds. So, you know, like I was saying, all the time kind of thing, starting with your clothes. Uh, kind of like, it reminds me of that Robin Williams routine in Good Morning Vietnam, the effeminate fashion consultant. You go in the jungle, I can see you. If you're going to fight, clash. So, whatever. You're never going to see tattoos and a lot of bling or whatever on me, or any bling for that matter. I don't really care. But I like to have fun with clothes. They don't have to be new and expensive. This thing is 25 years old. This is 30 years old. I don't know. All the stuff is old. And I don't care. But comfortable and fun. It's like these pants that I wear all the time. These colorful pants. You see them. They're good for if I need to like kick somebody in the face. But they're comfortable. I take everything out of my pockets. I put it in a pouch. That's why I carry a pouch. Not because I want to look like a nerd. But just because I don't want things in my pocket. When I kick back, I want to kick back. So, now, a fun song I thought that would really go with this whole first introduction part. Something by Mungo Jerry, the British band. This is from back about, I don't know, 70s or something like that. I don't remember exactly. But anyway, so this is Mungo Jerry. The third verse in particular, we're not gray people, we're not dirty, we're not mean, blah, blah, blah. We're always happy, life's for living, that's our philosophy. And that's what this is all about. Living, taking your life on the road as much as possible, having as much fun as possible, all the time, whatever you're doing. Thanks for tuning in. Again, part 2 is coming up here shortly. I'm on a roll, where I'm going to explain all this equipment behind me if you got any questions about stuff. Once again, thanks for tuning in. Have a good day.